Hello, I'm here with my next video on the chapter In the Kingdom of Fools. This video is for class 9. In this video, I am covering the summary of the chapter in detail along with all the question answers that can be asked from this chapter. So let's get started. The above story is a Kannada folk tale taken from A.K. Ramanujan's Folk Tales from India. The story is all about a kingdom of fools. So let's start by reading the summary. There was a kingdom of fools. In this kingdom, both the king and the minister were idiots. They reversed everything and denied justice to their people. They changed day into night and night into day. They ordered their people to sleep during the day and work only after dark. Anyone who disobeyed this order would be put to death. The people did accordingly. One day, two men, a guru and his disciple, visited the kingdom and found everything reverse. They were surprised to see people sleep in the broad daylight, and when darkness spread, everyone became active. Their surprise doubled when they went to the market and found that everything cost the same, a single doodoo. The guru and his disciple were happy because the system allowed them to buy all the food they wanted for a rupee. The guru was a wise person. He told his disciples that it would not be safe for them to stay in the kingdom of fools, but the disciple was not ready to leave the place because good and cheap food was available there. So the guru left the kingdom and the disciple stayed on. Being a great foodie, he ate his fill every day and became fat in a few days. One day, a thief broke into a rich merchant's house by making a big hole in the wall. But as he was going out with the stolen things, the wall of the old house collapsed on his head and killed him on the spot. The brother of the thief came running to the king and pleaded him to punish the merchant for not building a good and strong wall. The merchant was brought before the king. He accused him of killing the thief. But the owner said that he was innocent. He said that the person who built the wall was responsible. He didn't make a good wall. The king decided to summon the bricklayer. The king asked the bricklayer if he had built the wall. He accused him by killing the thief. Before the king could order his death, the bricklayer pleaded innocence. He told that the king that he could not concentrate while building the wall. A dancing girl moved in the street, so she was responsible for it. The king charged the dancing girl of killing the thief. The dancing girl said that the goldsmith was responsible for it. She had given him some gold. He had to make some jewelry for her. He was lazy. He did not make the jewelry early, so she had to walk up and down the street. So it was the goldsmith's fault. The king now ordered to summon the goldsmith. The goldsmith replied that there was a wedding in the rich merchant's house. He had to make jewelry for him, so he could not finish the jewelry of the dancing girl on time. The king declared the rich man to be the murderer. He was also the owner of that house, but he said that his father had ordered the jewelry. The king consulted his minister. He decided that that the owner be punished in his father's place. The king asked for a new stake to be made for the owner to die, but the owner was very thin. He could not be executed. The king was worried about it. Then he ordered to search a man who was fit for the stake. He should be executed. The disciple was found fit for the stake. He was brought to the place of execution. The disciple now remembered his wise guru's words. He prayed to his guru. The guru had magic powers to see the past and the future. He saw everything. He arrived at once to save his disciple. He told his disciple something in a low voice. The disciple understood this. The guru and the disciple now started fighting. The guru wanted to die first. The king asked the guru why he wanted to die. The guru told the king in his ears that their city was unique. This was the stake of God of justice. The stake was new. It was never used earlier on criminals. Whoever died on it first would be born a king. Whoever died next would be born a minister. The king thought over the whole case. He didn't want to lose the kingdom even in his next birth. So he talked to his minister. The king said that they would go to the stake themselves. Thus, they would be reborn as king and minister again. The king and the minister went secretly to the prison. They released the guru and the disciple. They put themselves in their places, so they were taken to the stake and executed. The dead bodies of the king and the minister were taken down. The people mourned their deaths. They discussed the future of the kingdom. Suddenly some people thought of the guru and the disciple. They were secretly leaving the city. People saw them. They requested them to be their new king and the minister, but they put one condition. It was to change all the old laws. So they changed the laws. So that was the chapter. Now let us start with the question and answers. Question 1. What are the two strange things the guru and his disciple find in the kingdom of fools? The answer is, the guru and the disciple found that in the kingdom of fools, people used to work during nights and sleep during days. Everything was cheap and cost of everything was one doo-doo. Question 2. Why does the disciple decide to stay in the kingdom of fools? Is it a good idea? The answer is, the disciple decided to stay in the kingdom of fools because everything was cheap there and all he wanted was good and cheap food. It was not a good idea to stay there for a long time because of the unpredictable behavior of fools. Question 3. Name all the people who were tried in the king's court and give the reasons for their trial. The answer is, the owner of the house, that is the merchant, the bricklayer, the dancing girl and the goldsmith were tried in the king's court. They all were tried because the thief died when the wall of the merchant's house had collapsed. The merchant was tried for building a weak wall. The bricklayer was tried for doing his work carelessly. The dancing girl was tried for disturbing the concentration of the bricklayer. The goldsmith was blamed for making the dancing girl walk up and down to his house a dozen times. Question 4. Who is the real culprit according to the king? Why does he escape punishment? The answer is, according to the king, the merchant's dead father was the true murderer. But since the rich merchant had inherited both his riches and sins, he was made responsible for the horrible crime. He escaped the punishment because he was too thin to fit the stake. Question 5. What are the Guru's words of wisdom? When does the disciple remember them? The answer is, the Guru's words of wisdom were, they are all fools. This won't last very long. and you can't tell what they'll do you next. The disciple remembered them when he was arrested by the men of the king to execute merely because he fitted the stake. Question 6. How does the Guru manage to save his disciple's life? The answer is, the Guru arrived on time to save his disciple and created a drama. He told the king that it was not an ordinary stake, and whoever went to the stake first would become the king in his next life. The second to die would become his minister. The king himself wanted to avail the opportunity. The Guru and his disciple were released. Thus, the Guru managed to save his disciple's life. Question 7. Now justice had come full circle, thought the king. What argument did the merchant come up with? What counter-argument did the king give? The merchant argued that his father had ordered the jewelry, therefore he, that is the merchant, was innocent. The king said that the merchant had inherited the riches as well as the sins of his father. Question 8. What did the king and his minister do at night? The answer is, at night the king and his minister went secretly to the prison. They released the Guru and the disciple. They then disguised themselves as the two. Then they got themselves executed. Question 9. How did the king and his minister die in place of Guru and his disciple? The answer is, the king told the executioners to put to death the first and the second man who come up to them the next morning. That night, the king and the minister went secretly to the prison. They released the Guru and his disciple. They disguised its Guru. They disguised as Guru and the disciple. The next morning, the executioners killed them. Question 10. How did the kingdom become normal again? When the people came to know about the death of their king and minister, they mourned. They discussed the future of the kingdom. They requested the Guru and the disciple to be their king and minister. They agreed to rule the kingdom, but on one condition: the old laws would be changed. The good days returned to the kingdom. Thus, the kingdom became normal again. Question 11. What was ironical about the judgment passed by the king holding the dancing girl as the culprit? In his judgment, the king termed the burglar as poor and innocent. He blamed the dancing girl for causing the death of a poor burglar and killing an innocent man. Expressing sympathy in this manner for a lawbreaker was ironical. Question 12. Why was the disciple chosen to replace the merchant at the stake? The answer is, the servants of the foolish king caught the disciple because they wanted a fat man to replace the rich merchant who was very thin and did not fit the stake. The disciple had grown fat after feasting for months on bananas, rice, wheat and ghee, and fitted the stake properly. Question 13. When does the disciple remember the words of his Guru? The answer is, the disciple remembered the words of his Guru when the king's servants carried him to the place of execution. He remembered how his Guru had warned him about unpredictability of the fool's behavior and their irrational system of governance in the kingdom. Question 14. What was the final order of the king to the executioners? The answer is, the king told the executioners that 2 criminals would be sent to them at night and they should put them to death in the order they arrive. He instructed them not to make any mistake in executing this final order. Question 15. How did the executioners mistake the king and his minister for Guru and his disciple? The answer is, the king had ordered the executioners to kill the 2 men that would be sent at night. These 2 men were the king and his ministers themselves. They had disguised themselves as the Guru and his disciple, respectively, after setting the Jew free. The executioners made a mistake because they promptly followed the order without confirming the true identity of the two men sent for execution. Question 16. Fools cannot continue with their follies for long. How can you justify this statement in relation to the story? The answer is, the king and his minister had made new but foolish laws for their people. They just wanted to be different from other kings, so they decided to change day for night and night for day. They continued with their follies for quite some time until they were caught in their own trap. The wise Guru skillfully tackled them and not only managed to save his disciple's life, but also rid the kingdom of the foolish rule. The follies could not be continued for long since the king and his minister could not see through the plan of his Guru. Not willing to give away his kingdom, the king and his minister disguised themselves as the Guru and his disciple and walked into their self-made death trap. Question 17. Discuss the importance of wisdom in life. Answer is, life is a precious gift of God. We should enjoy it. We can make our lives both bed of roses and bed of thorns. It depends upon our wisdom. Life without wisdom is useless. It becomes dangerous too, many a time. One who leads a life without wisdom can never enjoy it. We can enjoy our life when we are full of wisdom. Life is a combination of positive and negative aspects. It depends upon us what side we choose. It is our wisdom only that helps us distinguish between wrong and right. Wisdom makes our life full of comfort and provides us with various sources of enjoyment. Life without wisdom has no meaning. I hope this video was helpful to you. Do let me know in the comment section anything else specifically you want. Do take good care of yourself. If you are a newcomer, please subscribe, share this video and about this channel. Press the bell icon for the latest notifications. Do take good care of yourself. Bye.